Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on our little YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea, coming to you today from a Target parking lot in Redding, California, as I continue to make my drive home. I'm joined, of course, back at his place, Central Command today. Jonathan Voico's here, ladies and gentlemen. Jonathan, how you doing?
Good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to California.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I spent the night last night in Oregon in like this national state park campground in the middle of the mountains and trees. I put some pictures up on my social media. By the way, guys, follow me on Instagram. You can see my Instagram tag right down here, simply at John Campea. Go follow me there. I post a lot of stuff posted some pictures of this state park I stayed last night. It was absolutely breathtaking, but it's good to be back. And here's how today's show's going to go, guys. We're going to start off by talking about a few predetermined topics we got lined up for you guys. Then, in the second part of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. Now, today, we're going to do it a little differently. Sometimes when I do the show totally solo, or when Jonathan is doing the show from his place, instead of using the tip link questions, we're going to take your questions, live questions today via the super chat. So if you're watching the show live, and you have to be watching live, you can use the super chat feature to fire in a question. And as long as we deem it appropriate to be addressed on the show, we'll address it a little bit later in the show. And if you've already sent in a tip question to our tip link for our regular show normally, don't worry about it. It's still there. We'll just get caught up on those another time. All right, guys. With that down, let's get things started here, shall we? We're going to start off with this. Well, last night, Alien Earth had its season finale. And I got to tell you, I have loved this show. I don't think it's perfect, but I've really enjoyed it. It's been far more like philosophical, true sci-fi than what I was expecting it to be. I think the characters have been great. I love them expanding the mythology of that whole world with the corporations and all that kind of stuff. So I've really enjoyed it. Now, the question was going to be, can they nail the landing on it in the finale? And I have mixed feelings about the finale, but overall pretty positive. Like, on the one hand, let me talk about the things that I found a little bit problematic about it, okay? So here's my main issue. And you know what? This is going to be a bit of a spoiler, so you can go ahead and put up spoiler warnings if you want, Jonathan, but this is going to be getting into some spoiler stuff. The only major problem I had, and guys, as long as the spoiler warning is up there, just hit mute. And when we're done talking spoilers, you can unmute. The only problem I had with the finale is that Wendy did not have enough of a path to where she ended up. Like her being, I'm sick of all you people, blah, blah, blah. There wasn't enough to me that happened in the show and in her journey to show her gradual progression to get to where she ended up by the end of the last episode, right? It's like, I feel like the show needed, like we had the fact that they wiped Nib's memory, but only a few days of her memory. And
then reminded her of everything.
But like, that was it. Like, I feel like the show needed 2 or 3 or 4 more events, like roadmark events. You know what I'm talking about, Jonathan?
Yeah, to justify.
A few roadmark events that, well, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and then this happened, and that was the final straw, right? Like, we didn't see her gradually changing her paradigm. We didn't see her gradually changing her philosophy to get to that point. Now, they did do that with her ability to control the computer systems.
Right.
We saw slowly through the show, oh, she can change cameras. Oh, she can look in on her brother. Oh, and gradually throughout the episodes, her ability to do that sort of thing got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that was great. But I just feel like they didn't do enough. They didn't give her enough roadmark events that happened to her that justified to me bringing her from so happy to be here and I'm Wendy and this is great to now we rule. Sorry, like they just did enough to do it. So that really, to me, while watching the finale, was kind of my biggest issue with it. Now, put that aside. Okay, I just accept that they did it. They kind of jumped her world philosophies from this to this a little bit too quickly. Okay,
Right.
so they did that. I liked everything else about the series. I liked everything else about the finale. I could have used a longer fight between Kirsch and Morrow,
Mhm.
because I could have felt like they'd been building up to that, and I could have used a longer, more knockdown, drag out fight between them at the end.
Right.
But other than that, I thought it was great. And the little cliffhanger they left it on, I thought was really interesting. So, you know what? I got to say, Jonathan, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the series. Like, it's not up there with Shogun or House of the Dragon or Andor. It's not on that level. Don't get me wrong.
It's not that far though. That's the point though. It's not so far from that. You know, it's approaching it.
It was quite good.
Yeah.
It was really solid. Like, and I know that there were some people, and I get it, nothing wrong with this.
Mhm.
I know there were some people who were looking forward to just tuning in and seeing aliens rip people apart for 45 minutes every episode.
Sure.
I get that. And I was kind of expecting that. This was a different kind of show that was more true in-depth sci-fi. And I really quite enjoyed it. Look, I'll say this. It was a lot better than I was expecting it to be when they first announced it. Because you know me, when they first announced it, I was like, this is a bad idea. This is dead franchise, blah, blah, blah.
I was not excited either.
Yeah, I didn't have any enthusiasm for him. I mean, you know, the showrunner for it, great. You know, you got a top-notch showrunner doing it. Awesome. But I really didn't have a lot of belief in it. I didn't have a lot of faith in it. But by the end of it, I got to say, I was kind of really bought into the show. I wish there was a new episode next week.
Yeah. Now, where do you think this goes for a season 2?
That's a really good question.
Because they're not leaving it like this.
No, I mean, so I don't know. I don't know if they go the Matrix route where now it's going to be a rise of the machines sort of thing. I don't know if they're going to do.
Yeah, it has to stay within continuity.
But does it? Does it?
I mean, I would think
I
so.
would suggest it does not. I think they're free to do whatever they want. I think they might X-Men this thing. Because you remember when the X-Men movies were happening at Fox, it was all continuity, schmontinuity. Like the basic things stayed the same, right? They had some basics that stayed the same.
Yeah.
But really, they made changes to their continuity all throughout all the X-Men films. And they might do that with this Alien franchise. Again, I don't know that they're going to do it, but I suspect they're letting themselves, because what's the showrunner's name? Noah Hawley? I think that's the showrunner. Or I think they're going to give him a wide berth.
And I wonder if we're going to get a time jump. I mean, the Alien franchise is known for big time jumps.
Yep.
So I
wouldn't be surprised at all if when we get season 2, which has been greenlit, I wouldn't doubt at all if by the time they start episode 1 of season 2, it's been 3 years later.
Right.
And we find out that they never left the island. Still there. They were able to defend it against Prodigy and Weyland Yutani, or sorry, they're just Otani at this point, I think. But I don't know. A lot of theories, a lot of thoughts. So again, the big drawback for me with the finale was they, unlike justifying and working up her ability to control technology, which they did great through the series, they did not give that same attention to detail for her changing her entire outlook on her life and the reality and the people around her. It just kind of went from A to Q without B, C, D, E, F, G kind of in between. And that was jarring to me. It really was. But still, overall, I thought it was quite good. I enjoyed it. And I'll look forward to seeing where they're going with season 2. All right, guys, question is for you. What did you think about the finale of Alien Earth? I don't think they crushed it. Again, big problems with the fact that they didn't show her path to getting to where she ended up. But other than that, I really like the series. Not top tier TV like Andor or Shogun or anything like that, but still a pretty good, respectable outing. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we?
Oh, boy.
Well, last night, Jimmy Kimmel returned to television, and I don't know where it's at right now. But earlier this morning, I did a quick check, and Jimmy Kimmel's monologue has 13 million views.
Wow.
His monologue, that doesn't include the broadcast or anything like that. But his opening monologue had 13 million views. I don't know where it's at now or where it'll end up. But I thought he did a great job. I thought the monologue was really good. I love the fact that he tipped his hat to a lot of conservative Republicans about how they supported him. Not because they like him. They certainly don't like him. But they were supporting him in the sense that it was not good that government is trying to silence free speech from late night talk show hosts and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was all done very well. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody didn't like it. I wonder who. The person who didn't like it was the current president of the United States, Donald Trump. Now, it is very obvious and very clear. This is all about Trump settling scores and trying to silence people who critique him. Now, they tried for a little bit to use this pretext that, oh, no, it was about this. Oh, no, it's about that. Well, you know the scene, Jonathan. I don't know if you can pull up a picture of this.
Uh-huh.
You know the movie A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise?
Oh, I do.
Oh, yes. Now, you guys who know the movie A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise, throughout all the trial, Jack Nicholson and his people try to keep up this pretext that, oh, this guy got assaulted because of this or because of that, and I couldn't help that. Oh, it's this, that. But by the end of the movie, Tom Cruise has Jack Nicholson in the stand, and he says the iconic, legendary line, "I want the truth," to which Jack Nicholson says, "You can't handle the truth. You're goddamn right I ordered the attack," right? Mm-hmm. So the truth comes out.
Right.
Donald Trump did the exact same thing last night. Because this whole pretext of, no, I'm not just trying to silence my critics. I'm not just doing that. Jimmy Kimmel basically did I want the truth, and Donald Trump did his, "You're goddamn right I ordered it," because he got on his own social media account last night. Now remember, don't get mad at me for these words. I'm about to read you Donald Trump's words, his own words that he typed, okay? And this is his Jack Nicholson blowing his cover on the stand. If there was any doubt about the real reason Donald Trump wanted Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and all these guys off the air, it's all out in the open now, because Donald Trump himself wrote this. Remember, these are the words of the President of the United States, a fucking pussy child, who wrote the following. He said,
"See, free speech."
Yeah. Free speech, he can say it if he wants. He said this: "I can't believe that ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled." Wait a minute, Donnie. I thought you had nothing to do with it. I thought you weren't pressuring anybody. And yet, wait, ABC told me they canceled him. Anyway, something happened between then and now, because his audience is gone. Well, actually, his monologue had 13 million views already overnight. Anyway, and his talent was never there. Why would they want somebody back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy? This is the thing. Remember, we were talking yesterday about how the fact that him and his FCC chairman were mafiosoing them, saying, "Oh, it'd be a shame if you lost your license," and all that kind of stuff. And Donald Trump's defenders were like, "Oh, no, that's not what he's doing. He just admitted it." Mm-hmm. He's putting the network in jeopardy because of what they're doing by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. There it is. There's, in his own words, he just outed himself. This isn't about anything other than Jimmy Kimmel says things I don't like.
Right.
He criticizes me. He's on the other side. By the way, I've never seen a U.S. president divide the country so much. I've never seen it. Like, straight up call me anybody like Democrat garbage and all. Okay, right. This is listen, my fellow my American brethren, I should say, not my fellow Americans. I'm not American. This is the guy you elected. Anyway, he said he is yet another arm of the DNC. And to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. That's all bullshit. He knows it's all bullshit. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, this is again the President of the United States talking about going after people. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. Okay, guys, I want to remind you, this is not a fourth grade, Huck Finn out of some backward county preschool writing this. This is the President of the United States who's writing like that.
This won't look good in court either.
No, it
because it shows you intent.
Now, I just wanted to point something out. For somebody, and by the way, I'm not a particularly big Jimmy Kimmel fan. I think he's okay. I think he's got some really good stuff that he's done. I don't watch him on a regular basis. I don't plan to. But this isn't about that. This is about the government, not a company, not private individuals who are choosing who they do and don't want to work with. That's totally fine. Like I said, Fox News, 99% of their employees are just pure straight line MAGA conservatives. And you know what? They have every right to do that. They're an individual company. They can do that if they want. No problem with me. But the government is not allowed, by order of the Constitution, to try to silence their critics. Now, it strikes me as funny because Donnie and his, nutlickers, what they will try to do is they keep on talking about how unimportant Jimmy Kimmel is. He's not important. Oh, he's low ratings. Oh, he's such a loser, blah, blah, blah. You sure are obsessed about him a lot for somebody so trivial. You know what I do, Jonathan?
What's that?
I've been doing this online for nearly 20 or over 20 years now, since I started the movie blog. And over the course of 20 years, as is the case, because everybody online loves to cause drama, there have been people over the years that have tried to cause beef with me or drama with me. Mm-hmm. But they're pathetic losers and nobodies. And you know how I know they're a nobody? Because I'm a nobody. Nobodies recognize other nobodies. So as a nobody, I can very quickly identify when somebody's a nobody. And to me, when people have tried to clout drift off of me by causing drama or trying to cause a beef with me, if they're a nobody like me, you know how I deal with it? I ignore them.
Yeah.
I don't mention it.
Yeah, don't give them fuel.
I don't bring it up. I put it completely out of my mind. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they're irrelevant and they mean nothing and it doesn't matter. They are, like me, a nobody. So it doesn't matter. And I found that if it truly doesn't matter to me, and if it truly isn't important, and it truly isn't an issue, I won't bring it up every 5 seconds. But,
you mean they don't live rent-free?
No, I completely forget about it. I ignore it. I put it on my head and I move on, enjoying my life. So I'm just saying, if Jimmy Kimmel is really this low ratings loser nobody, why are you so obsessed with him? Like, that's the part of this that I really go,
it doesn't seem like he's a threat. Of course we know.
Now we know, because he speaks critically on the airwaves of the president. Mm-hmm. And that's all this is about, guys. This isn't about anything else. If there was any doubt about what's all behind this, forget what anybody else said. This is the president's own words. This is his own words. Nobody else wrote this. This isn't fake news. This isn't whatever. This is him. He just completely outed himself. He just completely Jack Nicholson himself on the stand. So I don't want to hear any more of this fake pretense nonsense about, well, no, you see, it's really about this. No. The president of the United States just clearly laid out what it actually is. He doesn't like what Jimmy Kimmel says. This isn't about causing a public health problem. This isn't causing this. No, this he just simply doesn't like him. And he has had a mandate to go after and target his political enemies. And he's trying to silence television and control networks so that they can't say anything mean about him anymore. And now he's even threatening to sue them because they told me they were taking him off the air. This is the danger that our network broadcast and what our television and what even our entertainment, because guess what? After he's done, if he's allowed to just steamroll everybody, after he's done with Colbert, and after he's done with Jimmy Fallon, and after he's done with Seth Meyers, and after he's done with Jimmy Fallon, after he's done with all that, guess what? He's not going to stop. Then he's going to go after George Clooney. Then he's going to go after Oprah Winfrey. Then he's going to start going after everybody in the entertainment industry who isn't a maggot, who isn't a card-carrying, red hat-wearing maggot. He's going to go after all of them. And it doesn't stop. Like the old saying goes, when you give the bully your lunch money, it doesn't end there. They come back again tomorrow and they want it again.
Right.
And this time they want more. And the entire entertainment industry has got to be setting up. The entire, specifically television industry, needs to sit up and look at this and be very aware and do like what Disney just did and draw a line in the sand and said, listen, you're going too far. This is too much, to the point that even people in his own party, who is the guy? Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz, the maggiest of the magpies. Even he came out and said, yeah, this isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, I actually really respect the fact that he said, listen, I hate Jimmy Kimmel. I'm happy he's getting fired. Of course, that's been walked back now. But what we're doing is dangerous. This isn't Republican. This isn't American. This is dangerous. And I respect the fact that a lot of people like Ted Cruz on the conservative side are sitting up and going, listen, we're conservatives. We're Republicans. But what Donald Trump is doing is not only un-American, it's unconservative. It's un-Republican. It's straight up demonic. And it's going to affect all of our entertainment and everything like that. And once again, let me reiterate and just double state this again. This isn't just about late night talk. Because if you don't know and understand that if you let somebody like this just steamroll over people, like he's going after all of his opponents in late night talk, it's then going to stretch into other areas too. He's not going to end until it's Vought. Mm-hmm. For those of you who watch The Boys, where every movie is going to be a pro-Trump movie and every television show is a pro-Trump television show, and anybody who speaks out against Trump disappears. That's exactly what he's trying. That's what he did to Colbert. That's what he tried to do to Jimmy Kimmel, and what he's going to try to do.
Yeah.
What's that?
And New York Times and Wall Street Journal.
Oh yeah. And by the way, remember he tried to sue the New York Times for outing some of the crap that he was doing? Guess what? His lawsuit got tossed out.
Right. And I believe it did with New York Times as well.
Yep. It did with the New York Times.
You know, he brought up, I sued someone, I got $16 million, because there was a period just a few months ago. It's amazing this has only been not even a full year yet. But I honestly felt like these corporations felt like, just pay the man, he'll go away, we'll be fine.
Yeah,
and that's
they're learning now
like
that he doesn't go
comes
away.
Back. It doesn't exactly.
Like, again, his own words. Well, I got 16 million out of them last time. Let's see what I can get out of them now.
He's got to pay.
I'm sorry, guys. Again, I ignore all this stuff until it starts interfering, infecting, and creeping its way into the entertainment industry, because that's what this show's about.
That's what this is.
We're about this is an entertainment industry issue, unfortunately, which is why I got to say it. And listen, again, I completely respect if you're somebody that holds a different point of view than I do. I completely respect that. But if you're bothered by the fact that I'm saying this, if you're bothered by the fact that I'm just reading you the president's own words, if that bothers you, you may want to consider not watching me anymore.
Well, because I don't understand the alternative. Like, I'm so bothered by this. I want us to be able to shut down ABC, NBC, CBS, so that this other guy that his feelings aren't hurt. I want that, because like that's my whole identity now, is like his feelings, not like, have a thought for yourself. I don't understand what the end game is for someone who, when it comes to that.
Yeah. So I'm just reading the president's words. If you're really upset by the way that makes him look, if you're really upset by the way that it portrays him, I didn't write it. I'm just reading it. He wrote it. So
yeah, we're not sitting here saying like, this is what we think. This is what's happening. We're just reacting to
what the president wrote. Yeah. Anyway, guys, Jimmy Kimmel back on air, 12 million, 13 million, maybe 14 by now, million views of his just monologue last night. And in a very presidential fashion, the president of the United States is now openly, publicly threatening to sue them because Jimmy Kimmel is Democratic garbage. Not all the other pretext, not all the other fake stuff they were trying to sort of pretend it was about. This is about the fact that he just doesn't like him and he wants him gone. Anyway, guys, how big of a deal can this get? Do more and more studios need to draw the line in the sand? Like, how much influence and effect can this have on the entertainment industry as a whole? Whatever you guys feel about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right. With that down, guys, we're going to take a moment here and play a little overreaction. I haven't done one without Rob here before, so I'm kind of glad I get the whole floor to myself. So a little bit earlier today, we jumped on the community and post tab and we asked our YouTube subscribers, hey, do you got a statement? You got a hot take that you want to give in a statement, to which I can then tell you if you're overreacting or not? Fired on in. Jonathan's collected a few of them. So Jonathan, what do we got up here first?
All right. It also makes my job easier. I don't have to remember who to throw to next. So first up, John, is this an overreaction when we hear from Rocket Man Rodney, The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance is the best limited series on Netflix?
Ooh. First off, I love Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. I mean, Dark Crystal itself is like one of my all-time favorites.
I used to watch
like a lot of people.
Yeah, I'd watch that and The Secret of Nim as a kid, like back to
back. And
The
Secret of Nim, Nicodemus. I mean, Dark Crystal to me, and Chamberlain is just like one of the. Yes. I love Chamberlain, and when they were bringing Dark Crystal to Netflix, I was happy they were doing it, but I was also kind of nervous. And it just turned out to be awesome. It was so good. And they canceled it. And it didn't get a second season. And I thought it was wonderful. But to call it the best limited series they've ever had, I think that's an overreaction. They've had a lot of really, really great stuff. I mean, who's the horror writer that just wrote Clayface? What's his name again, guys, in the live chat? Because he's got his Haunting on Hill House and all that stuff too. I think it's Mike something. Anyway, guys in the live chat, Mike Flanagan.
Right.
Like he's got his stuff, and let's not forget Beef. Beef like swept up all the Emmys: best director, best lead actor, best lead actress, best limited series, all that kind of stuff. So listen, Netflix has had a lot of really good limited series. They do much better on their TV series and their limited series than they do with their movies. But they've done some really, really good stuff. So I love The Dark Crystal, love it. But to say it's the best one they've ever had, I think that's an overreaction.
All right.
What's next?
We got one for overreaction. What's next here? Do we think this is an overreaction, John? When the antagonistic Anonymous says RDJ's Doctor Doom portrayal has now become one of the most anticipated acting performances, not just recently, but of all time.
You know, okay, listen, my first instinct is to go, well, that's a really big statement to make. So overreaction, but is it an overreaction? I mean, yeah, when George Clooney was announced as Batman, there was a lot of people looking forward to seeing how that was going to turn out. But I mean, honestly, Pierce Brosnan, getting announced, Remington Steele getting announced to play the new James Bond, that had a lot of people looking forward to that. But you know what? I'm going to say this isn't an overreaction. I'm not going to say it's factually true, but it's close enough to being correct, and it might be correct. it's close enough to being correct that saying it, I don't know that that's an overreaction. Because like when they first announced Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom, like the internet exploded, man. It straight up exploded. And for the year since that announcement, that's still all anybody talks about. And you combine that with the fact that it is such a highly anticipated movie, whether it turns out to be awesome or not so awesome, but everybody's looking forward to seeing how it turns out. And the circumstances surrounding him coming in to play the role, listen, I'm going to say it's not an overreaction because I don't know if I can name 3 or 4 off the top of my head that top it. I don't know if I can honestly name any that top it. So my first reaction was to say overreaction, but the more I think about it, it might not be an overreaction.
Yeah, when you look at the scale of what's going on with the MCU and everything, regardless of the fact that it's on sort of a downturn, or it's kind of like, I think it hit bottom and now it's climbing again. Regardless, the audience is like, you could think of like Michael Keaton in Batman '89. It didn't have the audience of the MCU.
Yeah, and that was more controversy than it was
Mr. Mom's
most anticipated. That was like when Michael Keaton playing Batman, that was more controversy because there were a lot of people who were very unhappy with it. He was so physically small. He's Mr. Mom Boy, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I think that was more controversy than highly anticipated, although the movie itself was certainly highly anticipated.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Okay. Next up, we're going to hear from, well, first off, is this an overreaction, John? When we hear from Really Wish, the Odyssey is guaranteed $1 billion at the box office. What say you?
Absolutely overreaction. Now, listen, do I believe, we've talked on this show before, we get a lot of people writing in asking about our speculation about how big Odyssey could be. And it's going to be monstrous. It's going to be big. And it absolutely could be $1 billion film. I mean, look, we always talk about Christopher Nolan's last film, Oppenheimer, a period piece biopic.
Yeah.
And that very nearly made $1 billion. It made well over 900 million, got really close to being $1 billion film. If a period piece biopic can get that close to making $1 billion, then why can't a new Christopher Nolan film with one of the biggest, greatest casts ever assembled that is also a fantasy film, why couldn't that? And it can. It can. But you use the word guaranteed. And the reality is, in today's context and environment, as fewer people are going to the theaters now than, like, say, when the pandemic came out, I think it is a clear overreaction to say it's guaranteed. Now, if you were to ask me to bet $5, I would put $5 on that it's going to make $1 billion, but I would definitely not put it down on a guarantee. So yeah, I'm going to say guaranteeing it to be $1 billion film. And now, if Oppenheimer had made $2.1 billion, sure, I'd go with you on this. But I think to say it's guaranteed to make $1 billion is an overreaction. All right, what's next?
All right, next up, we're going to hear from who? Alton Wang. Is this an overreaction, John, when he says Mikey Madison will be a one-hit wonder? That's mean.
Well, I mean, but it's a fair question to ask. I mean, she came out of nowhere, right, with Anora. And by the way, just rocked the hell out of that movie. She was so good in Anora, of course, winning the Academy Award for Best Actress. She is our current reigning, defending Best Actress in the world for it until, of course, the Oscars come up and somebody else gets named that. But she came out of nowhere. So could she be a one-hit wonder? Could she just kind of show up and that was it? Because, look, not trying to be mean or anything, but what memorable thing did Cuba Gooding Jr. do after winning his Academy Award in that Tom Cruise movie? What was it?
Oh my god!
It's the name of his character in it. Maguire?
Jerry Maguire.
Something Maguire. Jerry Maguire. What else? What of real big note did he do after Jerry Maguire? Or the girl from Precious? Like, what big notable thing did the girl from Precious do after that? Could Mikey Madison be the next thing to that? But I'm going to say calling her a one-hit wonder is going to be a massive overreaction for a couple of reasons. One, she's remarkable. She's so good. Two, she's young. It's not like she's hit this near the end of her career. She's very young. She's got a lot of years ahead of her to build this career. She's just at the starting line, really, of her career. 3, she's beautiful. I mean, and when you're somebody that looks like Javier Bardem or looks like Mikey Madison, there are going to be some doors that are going to be open to you no matter what. When you're that attractive, when you're on that scale of attractiveness. So there's going to be that. And listen, the other thing too is that she played it pretty smart. She didn't win the Academy Award and then rush into accepting 15 different roles, right? She's been very selective. She's only really got one thing of note that she's got coming up next, which is going to be the next Social Network movie.
Yeah.
That sequel to
Part
the Social
two,
Network
right.
that she's been cast in, right? She is handling this very smart. She's not like, oh, I'm hot right now. Let's run my name into the ground by taking 15 projects. No, she's being very slow, very cautious, very selective. And I think thinking she's going to be a one-hit wonder, I think that's a massive overreaction. All right, what's next?
All right. Next up, is this an overreaction, John? When we hear from Leon Buckler, the Batman v Superman warehouse fight scene is the best live-action Batman fight scene.
You know, with everything that we've had from the Michael Keaton Batman movies, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, the Zack Snyder Batman iteration, now we've had the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman information. It is very easy to say that's an overreaction because there have been some really good fight sequences. But I'm going to say, Jonathan, it is not an overreaction. That is easily, that warehouse fight scene. Listen, I don't care if you're a fan of Batman versus Superman, okay? I like that movie. I've always liked it. I liked it from the first day I saw it. And not everybody does. A lot of people don't. And that's okay. That's fair. But I think even if you don't like that movie, you've got to acknowledge that that scene when Batman drops down onto that warehouse roof and starts beating the living shit out of everybody.
It was incredible.
That is an amazing fight sequence. That is just visual candy, man.
Yeah.
That fight was intense and the choreography was awesome and the cinematography of the fights were awesome because you could clearly see what was going on and all that kind of stuff. It was a brilliant fight scene. So yeah, listen, maybe you can make an argument for, Robert Pattinson's Batman getting out of the police station or the other action sequences. Maybe you can make an argument for other fights. But right up there in the top of that conversation, whether you think one or two others might be better, you got to acknowledge the greatness of that scene. So I'm going to say that is decisively not an overreaction to say that it's the best live action Batman fight scene.
I don't think you're wrong on that. I think the only thing, in my opinion, that comes close is the Batman, but it's actually above the arena, that set piece where he comes in.
That was great too. And listen, same movie, Batman and Superman fighting each other in Batman versus Superman.
Oh yeah,
I love that fight, but it was more a showcase fight than a really choreographed fight, like the rooftop scene was. So I'm gonna give it to that one.
All right.
What's next?
We got our next one here. John, is this an overreaction? When we hear from Leon Buckler, nope, we just heard from him. This is our last one here. Matt, Sinners will be nominated for Best Picture, Director, Actor, and Cinematography.
That's a long list.
So picture, director, actor, cinematography.
Listen, getting an Academy Award nomination is difficult because out of the 400, 500, 600 eligible films, you got to make it into 5. Now, Best Picture, 10 nominations for Best Picture. Sinners, that's a lock. That's an easy automatic. But now you're talking cinematography, 5 nominations. Now you're talking acting, 5 nominations. Now you're talking directing, 5 nominations. There's only 5 nomination spots, man, and you got to make it in the top 5. And not only are you saying picture or actor or director, you're saying picture and actor and director and cinematography. And I'm still going to say it's not an overreaction. That's not an overreaction. The cinematography in Sinners is absolutely breathtaking. The performances in it, particularly Michael B. Jordan, is insane as he plays 2 different characters.
Right. Who does he get nominated for, Smoke or Stack?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? They don't have to nominate him for it. They just have to say Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Sinners.
Then there you go, because that was awesome because they had different personalities.
Yeah, because Dustin Hoffman, it wasn't is it Dustin Hoffman as the actor in Tootsie, or was it as Tootsie in Tootsie? No, it was just his performance in the movie. I can absolutely see him getting that. That's the one that I would say is most in question, because I have zero doubt that Ryan Coogler is going to get a nomination. I have zero doubt, although you never know, but that cinematography probably get a nomination. I believe Michael B. Jordan will get a nomination, but I wouldn't say that's a lock. But yeah, I'll say that Sinners getting a Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Cinematography nominations. I think it's totally within the realm of possibility. So I'm going to say it is not an overreaction.
Right.
All right, guys. And that will wrap up today's session of Overreaction. Thank you so much to everybody who sent those in. Keep your guys' eyes open for when I put out a call for people to send in submissions, and maybe you will see your statement on our next round. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Well, we know a new James Bond movie is coming. There's been a lot of speculation over the past number of years, ever since Daniel Craig announced that the last film would be his final one, about who's going to be the new Bond. We've found out a lot since then. We now found out that Amazon and MGM are now in control of the Bond franchise. We found out they got arguably the greatest director in the world right now, arguably, with Denis Villeneuve, is going to be doing it. We've heard some statements about what type of person they'll be doing, but apparently now we've got a much clearer picture, not of who is going to be playing the role, but rather the type of person that is going to be playing the role. We get this now from Deadline. Deadline is writing, exclusive. Denis Villeneuve will embark on the search for an actor to play the world's most famous fictional spy, James Bond, next year. So I've speculated that they might already have their Bond picked out. This report is saying that's wrong. They're saying Denis Villeneuve is going to worry about it until next year when he completes production on Dune Part 3. Those familiar with the matter tell us that the director and his collaborators are seeking a fresh face, or an unknown, in other words, to take on the 007 mantle in Bond 26. Also, James Bond will be male. I know there are a lot of insecure people who are worried he might not be a man, but don't worry. You can unclutch your pearls. James Bond will be male, as he should be, because that's so it's such an integral part of the character. I acknowledge he should be a male character. Written by Ian Fleming, and importantly, will be an actor who hails from the British Isles. Yes, it will be a Brit who's going to play the new James Bond. They go on to write, that rules out fanciful speculation that the likes of Timothée Chalamet, whose name has been brought up, Glenn Powell, Austin Butler, Jacob Elordi, who is really one of the big names mentioned, and others who don't hail from the UK shores are in the running. All right. A lot of stuff here. Obviously, it's significant that they are finally confirming, although they had kind of loosely confirmed for a while that, yes, James Bond is going to be male. He doesn't necessarily need to be white. He can be other ethnicities maybe, but he will definitely be male. And this is the first time I think I've really seen this big a report saying he will definitely be from the British Isles. So
I think all but Lazenby was. Yeah. Lazenby's Australian, right?
Well, and Sean Connery wasn't from Britain either. He was Scottish.
Yeah, but
they're saying they're going to, it's going to be a Brit. They're saying it's going to be a Brit.
Gotcha.
Now, to couple this with the other piece of information we previously got, which was they are going for a younger Bond. So we may not know who is going to play Bond now, but we know certain things. It's going to be male. He's going to be a Brit. He's going to be younger, and he's going to be a fresh face / an unknown. Well, that may not tell us who is going to be Bond, but it sure does rule out a lot of people. One of the front runners, Tom Hiddleston, he's out. He's number one. He's too old. I mean, not to play James Bond in general, but if you're going for a younger Bond at the very beginning of his career, that rules out some big names like Tom Hiddleston. It rules out Henry Cavill. It rules out Idris Elba. It rules out a lot of the top guys who strike out on a couple of things. Number one, the age, but then number two, they ain't fresh faces. Nope. unknowns. When you're talking about Idris Elba, my boy Henry Cavill, Tom Hiddleston, that rules all of them out. You know who it also might rule out? A guy whose name has been picking up a lot of momentum, surprisingly, was Tom Holland. Tom Holland's name had been really picking up a lot of momentum. Like a lot of the Vegas odds charts had Tom Holland near the top.
I just don't see that. I
don't really see it either. Like here's the thing with me.
I never saw that yet.
Yeah, I agree. I've never seen it, although I don't have a problem with it. Like if they were to announce tomorrow that Tom Holland was going to be James Bond, I wouldn't have an issue with it because he's a very talented actor. He clearly has all the physicality. He's a good looking dude. Yeah. He checks a lot of boxes. He wouldn't be my pick. It's not who I see as James Bond. So I couldn't see it either. But again, the Vegas betting charts had his name going higher and higher and higher, but there is no reality in which Tom Holland is a quote unquote unknown or fresh face.
Nope.
So it kind of sounds like they're not going in that direction either with it. And I respect that. I mean, listen, I'm not one of these guys, Jonathan, that thinks James Bond, the next James Bond has to be an unknown actor. I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that in the least. But I also think there's nothing wrong with having a brand new face, a relative unknown, like a James Bond.
There's no baggage to that. And by baggage, I don't mean like negative stories or anything about the person. I just mean you're going to imagine that person in their other roles. And now you don't have to worry about that. I mean, I know with Superman, with Corn Sweat, he did, what was it, Hollywoodland or
he did Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood, yep.
But the viewership on that wasn't huge.
No, like David Corn Sweat wasn't a household name.
Right.
And like Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig was not a household name. Like Daniel Craig had done a number of things, including like Tomb Raider and things like that. Sure, but people didn't know the name Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they did the ultimate fan casting when they got Pierce Brosnan to be James Bond. Right? They went out and got Remington Steele to be James Bond. And that worked out too fine. So I think you can go with a named actor, but I also think there's nothing wrong with going with a relative unknown on it. So, I mean, yeah, I'm good with it. And it's going to be really interesting now because it kind of, here's the thing, Jonathan, it kind of ends the speculation. Like saying it's going to be a relative unknown kind of ends the speculation. I mean, like,
now you could just throw out
you throw out any name of any B-level actor anywhere, right? Yeah. And maybe catch some traction on it. But again, I'm looking forward to seeing who they get. I'm totally good with it being a younger person. I'm totally good with it being male. I'm totally good with it being somebody who's a relative unknown. And I'm totally good with it being somebody who's British. So that eliminates a lot of guys, but it doesn't necessarily point us. And according to the story, we're not going to find out who it is until next year at the very earliest.
Right.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this story? Denis Villeneuve apparently is not even going to bother trying to pick out his next Bond until after he's done with Dune 3, which kind of makes sense. And even though there's a lot of strikes now about where they're from, how old they are, how well known they are, do you guys still have any existing theories about who you think it could end up being? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we're going to move on to the most important part of our show, which is taking your live comments and questions. Once again, guys, on today's show, we are taking live comments and questions via the Super Chat. So if you have a question you'd like us to address and you're watching live, go ahead and use the Super Chat feature in the live chat, and we'll get to your questions here in just a moment. But before we do, we're going to take a quick moment and thank a couple of sponsors of today's episode of the John Campea Show, our friends at PrizePicks and BetterHelp.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend, I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. You know, it's kind of funny where we sometimes go looking for advice. I've caught myself asking the manager at the gym about work-life balance stuff, or venting to a stranger in line at the movies. And listen, those conversations can be fun, but let's be honest, not everyone is the right one to help with the big things like anxiety, stress, or relationships. See, that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp has been around for over 10 years and has helped more than 5 million people. They've got over 30,000 licensed therapists, all fully credentialed and working under a strict code of conduct. And this is the really cool part. They do the matching work for you. You fill out a short questionnaire about what you're looking for, and their system finds somebody who fits your specific needs. And listen, if that first match doesn't feel right, you can switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. It's all online, super flexible, so whether you're on the go or at home, you can connect at the click of a button. That means you can actually fit therapy into your real life. So listen, don't just lean on your group chat or your barber for advice. Find your right match with BetterHelp. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea.
And thank you. Oh, there it is. And thank you to our friends at PrizePicks and, of course, BetterHelp for sponsoring today's episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with the time we have left, let's go over and take the questions you guys have been sending in, shall we? Jonathan, what we got up first?
We got Dallas Designer. When you come to Texas, consider Dallas. The Cinemark headquarters is here, and their flagship theater is right next door. Great XD screen. Food scene here is good, too. Hashtag Colossus Watch 2025.
Yeah, Colossus watches, because I mentioned on the show the other day that the name of my van, somebody asked me the other day if I've given a name to the van yet, and we have. The name of Anne's black Tesla Model Y is Moon Knight. The name of my Tesla Model 3 white we called Winter Soldier. And so the big silver van, we called it Colossus. So that's the name of course, after the X-Men. Anyway, yeah, when we are now, I've already started the process of planning the next movie meetup stretch, and I'll probably be coming to Texas in November. And when we're getting ready to come, what we'll do is we will jump on and we'll say what cities we're going to be in, and I'll ask people in the community tab, please recommend theaters that we could do this at. And whichever theater gets the most mentions will go there. But I'll also say, it's got to be a theater that has a big front to the theater that everybody can stand around in and hang out after the movie. And it needs to have flat surface level parking, not garage parking, not street parking, because I've got a 10-foot tall van that I can't drive into a parking garage. It's got to be a big mall-like open parking lot. And so once, that when we're ready to go, we'll put out a call for that. And if that theater has all those requirements, that could be the one we go to.
Well, one thing about Texas is they have massive parking spaces in their parking lots. They have like,
well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so you probably won't have trouble there. All right, next up,
that's been a key thing. Yeah.
Yep. Next up, well, Hollow Lord gives some support with a super sticker.
Thank you, Hollow Lord.
And then we got Super Nintendo Chalmers says major deaths in Avengers Doomsday over under 3.5.
Ooh,
so that's quite a few.
But that's a perfect number.
Yeah.
That's a perfect number. Because if you were to say 1.5, I'll go higher than that. If you go to 4.5, I would say, oh, that's way too high. 3.5 makes me got to scratch my head. Because will there be 4 significant deaths? And which movie? It was just Doomsday? Or was it Secret Wars?
And you got to save
Doomsday.
room for Secret Wars. That's the thing.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go under 3.5. I'll say it'll either be 1, 2, or 3 at the most. Now, if this was Secret Wars,
right,
then that 3.5 number should probably be pushed to 4.5, maybe even 5.5. But for Doomsday, I could see 1 or 2 big significant deaths. 4 in Doomsday seems like a lot, so I'm going to say under on 3.5.
All right.
All right. What's next?
Next up, we got Team Caboozles. Safe travels on the road, John. Quick verses for you. Iron Giant versus the Wild Robot. P.S. Jimmy reading Disney request to reactivate Disney Plus was hilarious. That was a pretty good bit.
God. For those of you who don't know, part of Jimmy Kimmel's monologue was, first of all, he thanked Disney for putting he said, listen, Disney didn't have to put me back on. We had some very discussions and they were under no obligation to put me back on. They chose to put me back on. He thanked them. He goes, the one thing Disney asked me to do was to read the following statement. And so I'm going to do it. And pulled out this piece of paper. To reactivate your Disney Plus account, please go, which that was honestly probably the biggest laugh I had.
That was
to
really
reactivate. That was really, really good. I like that one a lot. Well, sorry, what else did he ask?
Oh,
I forget what the question was.
Yeah, Iron Giant versus Wild Robot.
Iron Giant, Wild Robot. Listen, Iron Robot or the Iron Giant. The Iron Giant has stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's iconic. We all know it. But Wild Robot's a better movie. I don't know that Wild Robot will have the longevity that the Iron Giant did. But if my feet were to the fire right now, I know the cool thing to say is Iron Giant, but Wild Robot is so good. It is forget just animated film. It's such a great film.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the Iron Giant. Don't get me wrong. Iron Giant's great. I love Iron Giant, but I'd have to say, even though it's probably the unpopular thing to say, I'm going to say Wild Robot's the better movie in general, but I love Iron Giant regardless. All right. What's next?
Now we got Christopher Diaz. Thoughts on the Wicked trailer? Wicked for good.
Here's the thing. This is kind of funny. I liked Wicked. Like I liked the first Wicked movie quite a bit. I never saw the stage play. But I just went to go watch Wizard of Oz in the Sphere in Las Vegas. And it's the first time I've ever obviously seen Wizard of Oz on the big screen and all that kind of stuff. And I know this is unfair, but I got to admit, the whole premise of Wicked is starting to bother me. Because here's what I thought. And this is my own ignorance. Like I didn't go see the stage play. I didn't know all that kind of stuff. But I kind of thought that we're going to see how the Wicked Witch became the Wicked Witch. That she started off as well-meaning, and all these terrible things that happened to her drove her to becoming the Wicked Witch. But apparently, no, that's not it. She's actually a good guy. And after watching The Wizard of Oz again, it's like, Wicked Witch ain't a good guy. She's evil. I get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. So retconning Wizard of Oz doesn't sit well with me. Now, maybe that is me. Listen, I fully admit that might be just me being a little bit too much of a Puritan when it comes to the movies and allow them to have some flexibility. John, you just said you're willing to give aliens some flexibility on changing their canon. Yep, 100%. I did say that. But it's not sitting right with me. Anyway, I thought the trailer was good, but it is I wanted to see a trailer because, again, I don't know the story of Wicked. I wanted to see a trailer that started to show us little glimpses of Elphaba starting to turn bad, and it doesn't look like they do that. So it kind of hits me, and that Glinda doesn't actually have any magical power.
Right. I
thought the second film would show us how she discovered her own magic and power. Now you're saying Glinda isn't even a witch? I don't know. It's kind of sitting with me wrong. And maybe I'm wrong to feel that way, but it is.
For me, it's one of those things where if Dorothy didn't exist in this world, this version of Oz, it works. But the fact that in the first movie they allude to the fact that Dorothy is coming, Well, the whole
Yeah.
thing of Wizard of Oz was it was an allegory, but this takes the allegory out of it. So I
Yeah.
don't really get it.
Yeah,
But I
it's
still like the
just
movie.
me-
But
it's just me being a Puritan
Yeah.
about the original Wizard of Oz, and maybe I just need to get over it.
You know what?
But in
When-
general, it was a good trailer.
when you see the Wizard of Oz in the sphere, it just changes you guys. It
Yeah,
just makes you
it does. It does. It really changes. It's such a guys. If you ever get the chance to see Wizard of Oz in the Sphere in Las Vegas, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's such a great fun thing. Anyway, all right. What's next?
All right, we got Key and Owen. I believe what they're asking here is, do you think Jenna Ortega is a great actress? Essentially,
I think she's a very good actress.
Mhm.
I really do. I don't know that she's Academy level, but I think she's a really good actress. I've liked her in everything I've seen her in. I've even liked her in things that I didn't like the movie,
right?
like X. Right? I didn't. Was that the name of the movie? The little horror film that came before
Yes.
Pearl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't like the movie. Everybody else seemed to like it, but she was really quite good in it. I thought she was really good in what did I just I thought she was really good in Death of a Unicorn. I thought her and Paul Rudd. Rudd's always good. But yeah, I think Jenna Ortega is a good actress. If I'm a producer and I'm putting together an Oscar prestige film, is Jenna Ortega at the top of my list? Maybe not.
I need to see more range in her,
I think she's
but-
definitely a serviceable actress that I would have no problem her being, cast in any of my upcoming favorite movies. All right, what's next?
Joey wants to know if we think Brandon Sklenar will be Batman. He kind of fits the bill for what he mentioned.
Yeah, listen, I did not like 1923.
Yeah.
Because the show was advertised as a Harrison Ford. Why am I freezing on her name?
Oh,
I'm looking at her face.
Gosh, me too.
In my head. Anyway, it was advertised as their show, and they're not in the show very much. Helen Mirren. They're not in the show much.
I mean, they're on the poster.
Yeah, they're really not. It's really more about their idiot son, who's off in Africa hunting lions. But you know what? He's good. He's good in that role. And I loved him in Drop. I loved him in Drop. He was so good in that. And you know what? He's got the Bruce Wayne look. He's got the Batman physique. I mean, he'll have to hit a trainer and bulk up even more, but he's got the Batman physique. He's got the Bruce Wayne good looks. He's definitely a talented actor. I don't think it's going to end up being him, but if they do announce him, he's not my top choice, but if they do announce him, I'm perfectly happy with it because he would be a solid choice for sure. All right, what's next?
We got A. Marcellus who says, I'm going to the New York Comic Con in a few weeks. The celebrity list looks stacked, but I am most excited to finally meet the voice cast of Metal Gear Solid. Never been to the New York Comic Con.
Here's the thing. This is funny, Jonathan. I've never been to New York Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked to come several times, but for one reason or another, I've never gone, and I've always wanted to go. Well, here's the interesting thing. Ann and I are planning our next stretch of the movie meetups, starting in Southern California and then heading northeast, ending up in Buffalo. So I can also go across the border, see my family, and hopefully come back. But Ann really wants to go to a Buffalo Bill game. And we're going to hit a bunch of places along the way. I've been talking to Kevin Smith's, what are they called? The Smod Castle is the name of Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith has a movie theater in New Jersey.
Right.
And so I was thinking about maybe doing a movie meetup there. But then I noticed that New York Comic Con is happening during the dates that we're traveling. And so now I haven't had a chance to sit down and really look into it because I'm in the van. I'm trying to get back home.
Right.
But I'm thinking about, because Ann would like to go to the New York Comic Con. So Ann and I are thinking about going to the New York Comic Con and maybe doing a meetup there at New York Comic Con. Now, there could be a lot of problems, and there could be a lot of obstacles that get in the way of us doing that. But I'm at least going to look at it. I am going to consider doing that because it happens to fall within the right dates, and we've never been. And so we might be going to New York Comic Con ourselves. We'll see. I'll find out in the next few days after I get home.
There will be some logistics there with the van. You may have to have that parked further away and Uber in because you don't want to bring that into the city.
Because I looked, and there are a lot of RV parks in there, around there, like more than you might think. Like I was surprised to find that there are RV parks right in Las Vegas. So there are RV parks there. So that's what would have to happen. We'd have to take our van, we'd stay at the RV park, and then we'd probably Uber in to the Javits Center. But yeah, we might do it. We might not, but we'll see.
All right.
What's next?
Joey with a $20 super chat.
Thank you, man.
Simply asked Taylor Kitsch's Ghost Rider. Or actually doesn't ask. He just says Taylor Kitsch's Ghost Rider.
Has there been some kind of announcement that we're not familiar with?
I think he just would like that.
Is that just fan casting, or has that actually happened? Yeah, you can look it up. Okay, if it's a fan casting, sure, I guess. I mean, listen, Taylor Kitsch is a guy who I think he's wonderful. And he was really poised to become a big A-lister. And then along came John Carter, which was a great movie, but marketed terribly, and it flopped hard. And then there was also Battleship, which, Battleship was Battleship. It is what it is.
I call it Battle Skip.
Yeah, Battle Skip. And his career just got derailed, and he's really good, and every time he pops up in something, he's awesome in it. So I mean, I'll say sure, but only on the basis of I like seeing talented actors get roles, and he's a talented actor. So on that level, I'll say sure, why not? All right, what's next?
Okay, we hear from K Major. Gunn truly knows how to pick music for his projects. Thanks, James, for last week's gem from Peacemaker. I have at least one song from all his projects. That would be great to do a collection of like the songs from all of his, Yeah,
I mean, even going back to Slither, music in Slither is awesome, but really, obviously, the one that kind of put James Gunn using music in his movies thing, that's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Like that was really the one that jumped out, and like the soundtrack to that was great. So much so that they even called the second movie Volume 2, right? So that's incredible. I obviously really like the music they use. By the way, Creature Commandos also has a really fun soundtrack. The songs in Creature Commandos are actually all really fun and filled with personality and all that kind of stuff, and certainly with Peacemaker as well. So I cannot wait for this week's episode. We're now getting into the final 3 episodes, and they've been saying before the season even started that the final 3 episodes change everything. That the final 3 episodes are bananas and they're crazy, and the final 3 episodes start. What day is it today? Tuesday, Wednesday. The final 3 episodes start tomorrow night, and I can't wait for it. All right, what's next?
We got Timmy. Christopher Nolan is now the president of the Directors Guild. Does this change anything? Not sure if he'll be busier or what responsibilities he has.
No, the president of the Directors Guild, I mean, it's not that it's an unimportant thing, but the president of the Directors Guild doesn't really govern the Directors Guild. That's really the leadership committee and the board and stuff like that. It's more of a figurative head kind of thing. I mean, again, it is significant, but it's not that significant. That's why we've never done stories about a new president of the Directors Guild has been announced every time they do it. So, yeah, Christopher Nolan is it. It's not going to really interfere or impact anything. It's not like being the head of a studio. It's a minor thing. He's got some ceremonial roles, a few decisions he'll have to make, but it's really not that big of a deal. That's why we didn't make it an issue. All right, what's next?
All right. Andy says, Randy Orton wants to play Batman in James Gunn's DCU, and I kind of want that just so I can see Bruce Wayne RKO every villain in his rogues gallery.
That would be fun, but I don't know. Call me crazy. I want, an actor to play the role. Yeah, go figure. But I've always liked Randy Orton. He's always been one of like, he's never been in my top 5 favorite guys, but he's like always consistently been in like my top 10. I've always liked Randy Orton. All right, what's next?
All right. We got Andy follows up. It's crazy how the U.S. president can reveal the details behind a TV show host suspension, but nothing about other files that we want to know about.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into all of that. That has
nothing to do with ABC.
Yeah, have nothing to do with broadcast television or late night. I will firmly stay out of the whole Epstein file debate. It has nothing to do with anything that we talk about in the show. So I'll just let that go, Andy. I'll just let that go. All right, what's next?
Team Caboozles saw The Long Walk on Monday. Oh, you know what? I saw it Monday too, and loved it. David Johnson was amazing between that and an Alien Romulus. What do you think of him potentially as Bond?
I don't see him as a Bond type. I really don't, but he is a phenomenal actor. I remember when we came out of seeing Alien Romulus, first of all, the movie totally surprised me how much I liked it. But the first thing we all talked about was that dude playing the mech, playing the android, playing the
standout
synth.
Performance.
Yeah, he was fantastic in that. And then he killed it. He absolutely killed it in The Long Walk. And by the way, I think the other main lead, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but the other guy who was the main lead of the film,
he was in Licorice Pizza.
Wasn't he Philip Seymour Hoffman's son?
I believe that is his son.
I think he's Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. Anyway, that aside, this dude's great. I don't see him as a Bond, but he is,
Cooper Hoffman,
to quote Palpatine, he's somebody we'll be watching with great interest. We'll be watching your career with great interest. I can't wait to see him in future stuff, to see, like, were these 2 films a fluke? 1 film can be a fluke. 2 films is a pattern. And I think we're seeing the emerging of one of our next great actors, because he's been phenomenal so far. All right, what's next?
Keaton Habik says, I've noticed in recent horror films there's been a surge in classic quote-unquote horror monsters. Sinners had vampires, Weapons had a witch. Why do you think this is happening? Or maybe not?
It's never not.
Yeah, it's never not.
There have always been vampires being used and always being witches being used. That's never not been a thing. Yeah. Like, if you're talking about specific horror characters like Jason or Freddy or, I don't know, even if you want to go to space, there has never not been vampires movies. There have never not been witches. There's never not been whatever. So yeah, I don't think that's a particular new or re-emerging thing. I think it's just standard. That's just a standard business as usual sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Do we ever actually see the witch in The Witch? Eggers the witch? We never really see her, do we? Just like her back and stuff. Now that I think about it. It's more about the goat.
It's more about Black Adam.
Yeah.
Or Black Phillip.
Black Phillip.
Yes. Dwayne The Rock Johnson in The Witch.
Can you smell what the witch is cooking?
I mean, it's been a while since I've watched the movie. I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I can't remember. Yeah. All right. What's next?
Spencer says, were you able to catch any NFL games last weekend while on the road? It was a crazy week of football. Go Lions.
I was able to watch some of it. I was able to pull off the road, sit back here, pop on. You guys don't see it, but right across from me here is a big, not big, but a 42-inch TV.
Sure.
Here, and I sit back, had some soda, some snacks, watch some football. I didn't get to watch any of the Monday night game because we had the movie meetup on Monday night, so I wasn't able to watch that, but I heard it was a great game. Detroit wins. So yeah, I've been able to every night kick back, relax, able to watch Alien Earth last night, so it's been pretty good.
Cool.
All right, what's next?
Todd says, more likely for the big Peacemaker cameo character we've already seen in Superman, or the villain for Man of Tomorrow, Brainiac's big ship in space as a teaser. I think that's too far out.
I think it's too far out, and well, yeah, no, just leave it at that. It's just too far out. Now,
yeah.
I don't think it'll be a character from Superman, because I think it would be a pretty big letdown if he says, okay, we've got a bunch of cameos, but then near the end, there's this big, big, big cameo. Well, we've already had other characters from Superman, so having just another even Superman himself, I don't like. Listen, I think there's a chance that Superman shows up in Peacemaker, and that's still not the big cameo.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's more likely something like a character we haven't met yet before. I honestly, I would put a bigger odds that it's Lobo. So I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think it's anybody from Superman, and I don't think it's Superman himself. Even though they could appear, I just don't think they're the big cameo. But we will find out in a couple of weeks. All right. What's next?
Robert says, I forgot if you watched South Park or not, but I can't wait for more episodes because they're going to have a field day with Kimmel thing. Okay, can I just say that this year has been a gold mine for South Park? I don't love everything, but they do, but I love that they truly give 0 Fs.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, this season has been nuts, but I am behind. Like I saw obviously there was the first one, and then there was the ice episode. Those are the only 2 I've seen so far. I just fell behind. So I am very much looking forward to seeing what else they do this season. And you're right. Listen, South Park to me, always for 20 plus years, they are hit and miss, right? I can watch an episode of theirs and not laugh once. And then I can watch an episode of theirs and laugh at it for 10 years when I still think about the lines, right? It's just one of those things. You can hit a stretch of 2 or 3 episodes that are just some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen, and then 2 or 3 episodes that are completely and utterly forgettable. But man, when they are on their game, when they hit, they're some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. But the problem is they often don't hit. So it's very hit and miss. But this year's been pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
All right. Sir Z says, possible Jonathan Majors comeback for Miami Vice movie. Thoughts?
Nope. Not, but can I see Jonathan Majors coming back? Yes. I can see him coming back. Remember during his charges in his trial, Jonathan Majors was convicted, but he was acquitted on all the serious charges. Like that's an important distinction in terms of law. All the serious charges, and listen, I'll simplify it here. I think there were like 6 counts that he was charged with, if I remember correctly. All the heavy ones, the ones that basically, to really oversimplify it, all the charges that basically suggested that Jonathan Majors intentionally hurt somebody, he was acquitted of. The couple of counts that he was found guilty of were specific charges of him involuntarily hurting somebody. Like as a result of acting recklessly, somebody got hurt, but it was unintentional. There was like the things he was found guilty of were charges that specifically said he didn't intend to hurt anybody. It's just because he acted recklessly that somebody got hurt. All the charges that fall under the category of he intentionally hurt somebody, he was acquitted of and found not guilty of. And I think that's an important distinction because I think that leaves the door open that he can come back. It's not going to be quick and it's not going to be easy because he just did that magazine Dreams and like literally nobody went to go see it.
Right.
So that's going to hurt. But I do think there is a door there for Jonathan Majors to come back. And listen, I don't care what we think of him personally. Like we hear a lot of weird stories and whatever, but stories are stories. He is a remarkable talent. He's a remarkably talented dude. He is a fine actor. And because of that, I think he will make a comeback. I don't know if he'll ever be as big as he was. And I don't think it'll be in Miami Vice, but I do see him eventually getting another shot. All right, what's next?
I still want Robert Pattinson for Crockett.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad one.
Nerdy Nate, The Wizard of Oz is propaganda that the wizard released himself. I think that's the point of Wicked. Just my thoughts. Love the show. It could be meta like that.
I don't understand what it is
so asking. He's saying like what like, but I guess like it doesn't make too much sense because who would know about the Wizard of like the original Wizard of Oz if that's just like propaganda that the wizard created. We understand that the witch isn't that evil, so, but then you're rewriting the original Wizard of Oz. That doesn't really work.
Well, don't forget the real Wizard of Oz never existed.
Right.
Like at the end of the movie,
He got blown in. He left on a.
Well, it's not just that. At the end of the like, it was all in Dorothy's head.
Sure, because she bumped her head.
Yeah, it was. She bumped her head, and then like, oh, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion were the three farm hands. The evil woman who tried to take her dog was the witch in her dream, and so I mean, there's that. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really clear on what specific. Like, what do you mean it's all propaganda? And that the wizard released himself. I'm not quite sure I understand what it is you're referring to.
I feel
what
like
you're
it's
asking.
a little too Inception-y to go with that. However, if you believe that this is canon, then Return to Oz would explain a few things about the Wizard of Oz. You guys should see Return to Oz. Remember that one from the 80s?
Yep.
The pumpkin head guy, and
I watched all that. Hell, I even watched The Wiz, man.
Dude, I love The Wiz. He's on down the road.
I love The Wiz, yeah.
Yeah.
Get on down.
The guys with the wheels. And then like, oh no, the guys with the wheels was in Return to Oz, but how creepy was that the witch had different heads? That messed me up as a kid.
All right, what's next?
Okay, we got a couple more. Team Caboozles is back and says, if seeing your dad, movie meetup in Toronto. So when you go up there.
If I, you know what I'll probably do? Toronto's only about 45 minutes out. Now, I know that's a bit of a drive, but I'm driving like 42 hours.
Right.
So what I'll probably do for our viewers in Toronto is I'll probably do the movie meetup in Hamilton because that's my hometown. And it's only like 45 minutes from Toronto. So so I will probably do a movie meetup in Hamilton. So that way people in Hamilton, Toronto, St. Catharines, Oakville, Mississauga, Burlington, all that area, it's within driving distance for there. So if I do one up there, it will probably be in Hamilton. All right. What's next?
Here's our final one from Kian Moff, who says, hey, John, do you worry that Doomsday Secret Wars might just try to follow the formula of Infinity War with our heroes losing and then and fail to be original? So like the end of Doomsday, he wins and then they rectify it in Secret Wars.
Well, no, I just want a good story. I don't care. Like, and by the way, it being done once does not equal a formula. But if you know the story of Secret Wars, Doomsday isn't going to end with great victory. It can't. Again, I don't expect that Marvel is going to do Secret Wars exactly the way it's done in the comic books. They always take great liberties, and I'm sure they're going to change it up. But even the basic premise of Secret Wars, it's not going to end with some big, huge. I mean, it may be in the sense it's going to be an Empire Strikes Back kind of ending, where the good guys win in the sense that they rescue Han, they get away. They didn't rescue Han at the end of Empire, but they get away, they escape, the rebellion survives and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of big looming negative, heavy stuff still there. Han got taken by the bounty hunter. The Empire is still in hot pursuit, like all that kind of stuff. It's going to be that kind of an ending. It needs to be by necessity. It has to be.
Right.
But I don't think that's following any kind of a formula by any stretch of the imagination. Like really, what they did in Infinity War was truly different for the comic book genre. It literally ended with the bad guy winning. The bad guy wins. And then the next movie is just about them dealing with the repercussions. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, by necessity, if the very fact that we're getting Secret Wars means there has to be something at the end of Doomsday that is not all in the hero's favor. So we'll see how they go about doing that. And thank you, X-Men superfan Emma Frost, sending in a gift membership. That's very kind of you. And guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making our little show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in questions. Number one, because it gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved at the show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. We'll be back again tomorrow. I want to thank Jonathan Voico. Thank you, Jonathan.
See you guys tomorrow.
And again, to all of you for taking time out of your day. Hey, listen, guys, it means a lot to me. I know you guys have a lot of demands on your time. And the very fact that you would spend some of your time to hang out here with us doing the show means an awful lot to me. And I appreciate you all very much. So thanks a lot, guys. My name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.